Guys, that's a wrap. We did it again. And it wasn't easy. You know, I'm out here running, trying to prolong my life. But I had an epiphany. I don't think it gets easier. You just learn to live with the pain. You power through the suck. And I always wondered, I'm not talking about that suck. We know how to power through that. Just close your eyes and think about your ex. But I'm talking about pushing through adversity, challenges, hard times, tough times. How do we power through that? I'll be the first to tell you, when something gets hard, I always want to throw in the towel. Like that scene on Rocky, we said, just throw the towel. I'm the first to throw the towel, but recently I started thinking, you only have so many times you can throw in the towel until that becomes the last time you throw in the towel, right? We only wake up so many times in life until we wake up for the last time. And do you really want to go your whole life throwing in the towel? When something you're going through gets hard, whether it be a relationship, a challenge, your job, you need to come up with a strategy to power through the suck. For example, you know, you and your girlfriend have been on the outs and you've been planning to break up with her for the last 3 months. Surprise, someone gets pregnant. Well, that's not the end of the world, and there's still a way out for you. Don't abandon your child right now. You have to plan your exit. You don't even want to be with the woman anyway. She probably knew you were going to leave and got pregnant, but it's not all her fault. You weren't wearing protection. Nevertheless, this isn't the end of the world. This isn't the end of your story. You need to plan your escape. Don't leave immediately. Be there every step of the way. From month 1 to month 9, take all of the pictures, have all of the parties, throw a grand baby shower, play your part. The thing about pattern recognition, when you start trying to do something different, people notice, and that's when you blow your cover. So for 9 months, play your part, be the best dad possible until the child gets here. And you're gonna have to stay and stick around for about 2 more years. And while you're doing all this, you need to be putting away a little bit of money in your parachute fund. After year 3 comes along, move out. Move out in the middle of the night, leave a Dear John letter, tell her I wish you guys the best of luck, but this isn't where my story ends. I gotta get out of here. You don't legally have to stay with that child. You don't legally have to stay with that woman. Yeah, you might end up being on child support. Things happen. There's a way to get out of that too, but it's very immoral, and you might end up going to prison for the rest of your life for, M for H. But let's dial it back to you escaping. You got your place, you put your money away, you left like a thief in the middle of the night. Yeah, you hurt a couple of feelings, but time heals all, and heels hurt to walk in, but they go with the clutches you carry your lip gloss in. I'm getting a little distracted. But power through the suck until you can get out of that situation. Listen, you have to live your life like you're on the run. One of my favorite YouTubers said that a couple of years ago, and that really stuck with me. You power through the suck and live your life like you're on the run. That woman and that kid will be all right. This is your life. You only get one life. You better live it. You're working a job you hate. Please, for the life of me, do not abruptly quit, especially in this economy. I am telling you from personal experience, do not abruptly quit a job. You always want to line up another one. And I know in America, we got a car. Like I was saying, I know in America, they always caution you to put in a 2 weeks notice. Let me tell you something. They're not going to put in a 2 weeks notice when they fire you and walk you off the premises. So what I recommend you do, if you work in a job that you hate, stay at that job, be the best employee possible. And while you're there in your free time, apply to other jobs. Schedule your interviews, go to those interviews, and as soon as you find a job that pays a little bit more, you leave like a thief in the middle of the night. But do not abruptly quit your job, especially in this economy, because it's going to be rough to find another job. Always look for a job while you have a job if you hate your current job. You might look up and be in $40,000 worth of credit card debt. Now that is some serious suck. And you might want to hit that exit button, but don't hit it just yet. Now, I don't have anything against that. I know we have a national hotline and people do everything in their power to prevent someone who's on the edge. I don't have a problem with you wanting to jump off. I don't know why people make such a big deal about it anyway. I mean, there's 7 billion people here. If 200,000 want to hit the Control-Alt-Delete button, that's really not an issue. But I know that's a sore subject for some people, so I won't stick on it too long. I'm just not against it. I know I said we get one life and you better live it. Well, with that one life being the life that you choose to live, I think you should be able to choose to end it if you want to, right? I think deletion prevention is a waste of time. Makes absolutely no sense to me. That's how I knew life was a scam at a young age. When I found out that you can live in a rough environment, you can struggle, scrape, and claw your way throughout life. But the minute you get tired of that and say, I want to get up out of here, now all of a sudden people are trying to force you to stay, telling you, oh, it's more to life than that. You don't have to hit Control-Alt-Delete. Well, what is it? And this place must be a scam if y'all are forcing me to stay here. But let's get back to the main point. You might look up and be in $40,000 worth of credit card debt, which is a lot, but how much is the national debt in America, right? And we still getting up, going on about our day. But you need to develop a strategy to power through that suck. Maybe put away $1,000 towards that debt every single month and stick to it for however many years it takes you. Sooner or later, you'll be debt free and you'll be proud that you did that. Or, like I said, if you want to hit Control-Alt-Delete and do a nosedive off the diving board of LIFE, you can do that too. I'm a supporter of anything that anyone wants to do, especially when it comes to that. We shouldn't have to be here if we don't want to. I know some people's lives are harder than others and they don't see an end in sight. And I have nothing against you for wanting to get up out of here. Why is it such a big deal? But if you don't want to do that, create a plan, follow that plan, and finish strong. Sooner or later, that $40,000 worth of credit card debt is going to be long gone. It's a distant memory. Now you have a clean slate and you're free to get in another $40,000 worth of credit card debt. You just got to power through the suck. I view mental challenges the same way. It's a suck that you have to power through. The loan shark calls you and says, man, I'm fed up with this. If you don't give me my $8,000 by the 15th, I'm taking out your wife and kids. Now, me personally, you can have them. Let's double or nothing. Give me another $8,000 in exchange for the wife and kids. But I know most people do not want to see that fate come for their family. So you have to figure out how you're going to come up with that $8,000 to spare your family's life. I find when I experience mental challenges like that, you have to take a nap. Now, don't take a nap too long because you're going to wake up to no family. But when you experience a mental challenge, I found that sleeping on it gives you enough time to come up with some form of recourse. You just have to power through the suck. That's the main point of this video. And the best way to power through the suck is by setting something on the other side of the suck and knowing that once you power through the suck, you reach that goal, you reach that destination, whatever it may be. You may be in business with your best friend. I mean, you guys have been thick as thieves for the last 27 years. But there is a competitor offering you a better option in exchange for inside information on you and your best friend's business. Now, I know turning your back on your friend or committing treason is seen as one of the worst things you could do. Personally, I'm for sale. So wherever I can maximize my profit and get the most for me is what I'm doing. And you're gonna end up losing a friendship. But the beautiful thing about capitalism the beautiful thing about money, the beautiful thing about humans, you can always purchase new friends. I mean, you could meet a guy today and tell him, hey, can you come to the mall with me? Scratch that. Can you hang out with me all day? I'll pay you $1,500. And everywhere we go, I need you to treat me like I'm the greatest man on earth. I need you to put your arm around me and tell everybody, man, me and this guy have been through it all. Just put me on a pedestal for the entire day. And hey, if you have access to $1,500 more, you can do that every time you leave the house. So I wouldn't dwell on the friend stuff too long, but let's get back to it. Your competitor is offering you a job with his company in exchange for inside information on your best friend's company. You're gonna have to give him the inside information. I know it's gonna hurt a little bit, and you're gonna lose a lifelong friendship, but you only get one life. And do you really want the same best friend for your entire life? Me, yeah, because I love my friends. But if we put some money on the table, I'm gonna get some new friends with my new money. So I'm gonna power through the suck until I can get enough inside information to the competitor where I can succeed and put my best foot forward, right? You just gotta power through it, that's all. And that's all I really wanted to talk about today. Like I always said, this might be the last video I make. It might not be. But until then, I'll see you guys around. I'm not too hard to find. And I hope you all have a lovely day. Really, seriously. Be good to yourselves.